And this is why I can't be trusted, and you should all stop watching immediately. Because I love the cover of Wicked by Korn. It's such a stupid cover, and I enjoy it so much. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my flanneled co-host, Alexander Volt. Say hello.
Hello.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. It's usually a new artist per episode, and this is one of those episodes. What are we talking about today? No, I'm fixing the intro. We're discussing every album by
The Marked Men.
Oops. This is requested on Patreon by Jason. Jason, thank you so much for hanging with us and being patient and giving us your money and asking us to talk about bands you like.
And I hope you still like me after this episode.
I hope you still like us after this episode. We just gave it away immediately.
And if anyone from The Marked Men is listening, please just turn this off now, please.
We've been twice in the past week being contacted, one directly, one semi-directly by people from bands that we've covered that we like so much. And it's mortifying. It's mortifying.
I really do these episodes thinking no one from these bands will listen to them. And then
I'm fucking blushing because it's like, I'm an asshole. I'm saying, like, even when I love something, it sounds like I don't.
Oh, dude. Like, yeah, listen to our Kristen Hater episode if you need proof of that.
Oh, my God.
An album Mike liked, but sounds really...
It sounds really... I was really critical. And I like it. I love her. But how I feel, baby, is how I feel. But having said that, Alex, you hate this band.
I do.
I don't hate this band.
Oh, shit.
I actually think they're a good band doing a thing that I don't like. They're doing something I don't like, but I think they're actually a good band.
I think there's bajillion times better bands.
There are, and they're a bit baffling to me because this is early 2000s, and they're doing late 70s punk, and they're not doing it any differently except for on most of the albums they're just faster, garagey late 70s punk. But aside from that, there's like very little like character or distinct personality that I can actually point to.
There was like nothing for me to really sink my teeth into. I feel really malnourished.
Jeez.
There's that joke where like man who has only seen Boss Baby getting major Boss Baby vibes from second movie that he watches.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know where it came from.
Is that
a meme?
It's like a Hard Times article. So like, yeah, replace Boss Baby with the Ramones. And
so for one, I get that 100%. The first thought in my head was, oh, they're just Ramones worshipers. But I think it's mostly egregious on that first song on the first album. It's still there, but it's only on that song where I'm like, Jesus Christ. The rest of it, it's like, okay, it's more of like a late 70s punk in general kind of feeling I get from it, which I guess is often characterized by the Ramones. But I'm also very familiar with a lot of late 70s punk, so I just I get the feeling of like the whole era.
I thought of the Stooges maybe like once.
Yeah, maybe once. And there's some vocal stuff that's like, oh, he's clearly trying to do an Iggy thing, but it wasn't like offensive the way like Jonathan Fireeater was.
Oh, no, I think this band makes Jonathan Fireeater look like fucking Metallica.
I was in heaven listening to this after Jonathan Fireeater. Sorry, I'm I'm still super sorry to Derek.
Derek, thank Jason. I like Jonathan Fireeater a whole lot more now. But just in comparison.
Wait, so you wait, hold on. I got mixed up. You prefer Jonathan Fireeater over this?
10 times out of 10.
I'm 10 times out of 10 this band over Jonathan Fireeater.
I know.
Okay. See, I misheard you. Dude, That's fucking crazy. That's wild. That's just where we are in life.
Yeah. And I'm comfortable with that.
Me too. So a lot of late 70s punk, a lot of garage rock. And the main problem with that for me is I'm just not big on garage rock. In general, I'm fine with like a lot of the late 60s stuff. I'm obviously fine with the Stooges, but it's not like a genre I'm into. It's just a thing that sometimes I like the band. So when it's just this and it's fairly average to like some. So my biggest gripe about this band is we're gonna be covering 5 albums. There's only 4 canonical albums.
Proper, yeah.
Last album we're gonna be covering as a compilation, but it's like I hear what they start with, and I'm like, okay. So and then I hear another album, like okay, they're moving, and then I hear the third album or the next of the third album, and I think okay, I see how this is moving in a direction, and then the fourth album comes, and I immediately figure out that no, there's been very little movement, and then you look at like the some of the early stuff on the comp, and it's like they kind of just had one mode with a couple of deviations that feel like flukes.
They are on a treadmill the entire time.
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that
I'm glad you feel that way,
because they didn't. There's no jumps. They basically didn't evolve, but there were moments where I hear greatness. I hear moments. I'm like, shit, that's a great progression. These are really well written. Yeah. I hope this fucking blossoms. I feel like this can go in. There's a ton of potential here. I hate saying the word potential. I hate that fucking word. And then I was let down. It's fun, it's high energy. If you're into garage rock and snappy late 70s punk, and you don't mind, it not doing that much different. It's a fun band, I think, and with some legitimately good songs.
I disagree. Go listen to like the MC5 or.
Indeed, we can all just go back to the 70s and listen to a bunch of other bands that I like more.
Go listen to like the White Stripes.
I fucking no. I'm putting my foot down. Fuck no. I go this with the White. Fuck no.
No, you're fucking insane.
I was just talking to my girlfriend today about how much we hate the White Stripes.
You're both fucking insane. Even like the B tier garage rock revival, like a Von Bondi's or a Mooney Suzuki is like a million times better than this.
I can't speak on that. I've never heard them other than like you. I'm knowing you mention them, but I don't. This thing this doesn't bother me in the sense that I'm so fond of late 70s punk. I'm more bothered that they didn't try anything else, and it's been it was fucking 35 years later, 30 to 35 years later.
They committed,
or 20, 25 years later, whatever.
They committed the greatest sin in my book, which is this being fucking boring. So
I wasn't that bored. I want to be honest. I wasn't that bored.
These are some of the most excruciating 30 minutes of my life.
No fucking way. This is amazing. I was not bothered. I don't love all of it, but some of it that I really liked, and the rest of it that I'm like, yeah, it's fun. I get it. I'm not, and they are short. They're all 30 minutes or under. Mm-hmm. I will admit those are some pretty long 30 minutes, and in certain albums, it's some pretty long 30 minutes.
I just wrote like quips about some songs because, pun intended, I felt like a broken record on some. I'm like, I have no adjectives left to describe these songs.
I get it. I'm probably in the same boat. I understand completely. Because at a certain point, however many albums in, it's like this is a marked man song. This is a marked man song, and that what it sounds like. I don't know what else to say. And if you're a fan of this band, it's your preference of which marked man song do you like, because they all kind of feel the same. I think some are infinitely more well written than others, but it's kind of isolated to 1 or 2 albums.
I might as well have just put these albums up on a wall and thrown a fucking dart.
So your picks for best and worst are very much like, I don't fucking know.
I do not give a fuck.
Really? I have very concrete. This is how I feel. This was easy for me.
The logic for my best and worst are exactly. It's just pure logic.
It's what you think like an alien robot might think when they listen to music for the first time.
Or like, I'll explain it when I can.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely have more.
I'm glad you do, because if this was just me,
I think it might. If I'm guessing, it's probably just because of my more punk background. I just have so much experience with that era, even before hardcore came around. Mm-hmm. If anybody's interested in that era, you should check out the No Thanks box set. That shit is a wonderful entry point into like late 70s punk. It has everything on there. A little taste of everything. Great compilation.
It's probably no Nuggets.
I know.
Nothing is Nuggets though.
Well, Nuggets is amazing. Nuggets 2 is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And No Thanks is basically the punk Nuggets.
Okay.
It's where I first heard fucking Mongoloid by Devo. Extra Respects, Wire, of course. Great stuff on there. Anyway, we're just talking about it's clearly influenced by it. It's just much later. And it was around the time period of I guess that the last hurrah of garage rock and punk, or not punk, but
garage rock. I said, White Stripes were huge.
Yeah.
Even bands like Jet and Wolf Mother were riding that wave. I'm assuming the Marked Men wanted to ride that wave, but
they sort of did, and I would say they're still riding the wave because they're still touring. They're not recording anymore. They have zero plans to record a new album.
Good. Sorry.
Easy, brother. Easy, brother. It was a very humble and realistic reason too that we're going to talk to. Okay. Get some quotes here, but they're still touring, and it's kind of endearing that like they had this little window where they did this thing. They liked what they did. They know they can't do it again. They're not really interested in doing it again. They're all the members are in a million other bands. It's like actually really confusing and hard to keep track of like we have it here, but I'm going to botch it.
Also,
so many.
They're not that like they're this. It's not like, oh, I'd recognize that band.
How do you mean?
Like if you like list all the bands.
No, they're all in the same kind of vein. Because I mean, we didn't know this band until it was requested, but I'm also not in that. I've gone on record how many times I've said fucking that the early 2000s are the worst era of music in my lifetime, and in recent historical memory, it's like one of the worst eras for music. Not that there aren't great albums in those years, but just as a whole.
I think like hip hop
is specifically
hip hop. It was kind of dark, but
there's some good stuff here and there. Some of my favorite albums of all time have been released within that window, but very few. If I had to pin it up against the 90s or 80s or something. But anyway, we have some notes here from our favorite boy Tom Osman, who should all go follow because he helps us out. He got us it's an interview with Mark Ryan by Vice /Noisy. Mark Ryan, the one of the guitarists and vocalists, and it's him ranking the main albums, as well as giving insight into each one, which was interesting because this is the first time we've had like an interview where the members rank
their best worst,
basically, and not a lot of overlap. I'll tell you that right now. Not a lot of, with my picks, not a lot of overlap, not a whole ton of overlap.
It could, who knows for me.
Who knows? It could be. But yeah, like we said at the top, we're going to be covering 5 albums total. The first one came out 2003. Last official album was 2009, but the last album we're covering is the compilation from 2018, which compiles a bunch of early stuff. And a couple re-recordings, but mostly just, outtakes. Anyway, I suppose we should jump into it.
Yeah, we should.
Hell yes. So here we go. I'm hoping for a ride, Jason. I'm already sorry. This is 2003's self-titled.
The most Ramones.
Yeah. When I heard this, I was almost offended. It's just very remote. I mean, he sounds like Joey, sorry.
I kind of give first albums by bands that are new to me a little bit of room, because who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? They could turn it around.
Always. I agree as well. And to be completely fair, this is the only song where he really sounds like Joey.
Yeah.
But it's fun, great drummer, really snappy, really tight. They know what they're doing. It's just we have heard it. I don't think it's a bad song at all. I think it's fucking insane how much he sounds like Joey Ramone on there.
Best personal favorite, just because I'm not tired of the band yet.
Man, yeah, while I do understand that, I think this is a good album, but definitely full of flaws. Not my favorite, not even my top 2 favorite, maybe. Maybe it's top 2. You know what? Fuck it. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fine album.
Just spin a wheel for me.
Jesus Christ. So we didn't get to it too much in the intro, but this band has had the same lineup beginning to now.
That's nice and clean.
It is nice and clean. So you got Joe Ayub on bass, Jeff Burke on guitar and vocals, Mark Ryan second guitar and vocals, and Mike Throneberry on drums.
Also, less people that I might offend.
I suppose. Yeah. I don't know. We've covered a lot of bands where just a million members know who they're in the gutter somewhere.
That's true.
But they were all in just like various other bands. Burke was in Vomit Punks, the Role Models, E-Class. What's it called? They were all formed from the band Reds. I guess their original bassist moved to Japan, so they replaced them with Ayub, and then that's how the Markman came. But so they basically just formed from a band called Reds, and I can't imagine I don't know, but I'm sure those bands all felt the same or sort of like silly similar, because this is like,
there's no way they didn't.
It's pretty derivative. Just 70s punk. It's faster though. It's much faster.
I'm sure they were very popular in like a high school battle of the bands setting.
You keep just demeaning them. I don't believe that, because I'm only saying I don't believe that because I think they did have it was a while before they picked up momentum and popularity. They were just sort of like, they were just sort of coasting at a low level for a long time until after the second album, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So around this time, they weren't doing all that much. They were just, just gigging essentially. But, so what can I say specifically about some of these songs that I can't say about the whole album? It's a lot of it's happy and punky and very fast. I mean, nothing really goes too much faster than that opener, which was, we won't talk about it, but
I do feel like a pretentious asshole that I'm just like, I have seen crazy mountain peaks and I can't.
Sure. We've seen them. We've seen all kinds of mountain peaks.
Yeah.
We've done all kinds, but my love of like, I'm so tired of hearing myself reference Pink Flag by Wire, but it's such a fucking amazing, perfect album of that era.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fucking basically a perfect album in general. And that's like a lot of what I think when I think of 70s punk. This doesn't sound like that. It sounds definitely a lot more like the Ramones, but there's a lot that can go into that simple style where it's just essentially garage rock, but fast.
Mm-hmm.
This album mostly doesn't do that much. It's just like, if you're not really sold by the energy and the tightness of it, and energy isn't speed, but energy isn't also, it's a fun, lively thing. It's very, it's great to have when you're driving. It's great to have like in a background of like a party. It's very, kind of, I guess like the Ramones, but then you also have the Ramones. So what is this doing differently?
Not much.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say something that it does differently.
I feel like the songs with the most potential to me were Hate Me Anyways, What You Do. And Nowhere, like the melodies are a little better there, a little more hooky. And then
I think it's probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite on the album, Nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's Wasted has like
The closer, yeah.
pepperings of more unique guitar playing that other songs do not.
I dig it. I dig the closer. It sure has a lot of generic punky riffs in there for sure, but it has some good moments. Guys, great energy in that one. I do like Nowhere quite a bit. The times, most of the time they have like peppering of backup vocals, and it's not. It works. It usually does something to kind of brighten up the song a bit and bring a bit more depth. Hate Me Anyway. I don't. That's when I'm like losing it. At that point in the album, I'm just really hoping for more. It's inoffensive, but it's just all right. It hasn't distinguished itself. It's also the third song in a row that's 2 minutes 8 seconds, which is some sort of omen, I'm sure. Destroy Them, Not Just Another Girl. Both of those are also 2 minutes 8 seconds. But I'm okay with both of those songs as well. Not Just Another Girl has pretty good arrangements. It changes the feel a little bit. Doesn't have the most riveting riffs, but I think it's fun. Destroy Them is a tad meaner than the rest, but mean for this band is not like, it's just meaner. It's just not happy and poppy, or it's less happy and poppy.
There are things, I guess, in the future that are a little more snarly.
Yeah, they get more emotional, more snarly, more melodic for sure. This is straight up fast 70s punk.
I think, yeah, like if you just want pure speed, yeah, I Don't Want It is like the fastest, but it's also like fast food because you don't feel full afterwards.
Yeah, this is like 26 minutes or something. It's like insanely short. And even by the end of it, I was like, really, they didn't do anything different. It's just, I get a super short album and it kind of does one thing the whole way through. I have plenty of albums I love do that. But
you better be real good at it.
It's like a thing where I can't even define it. Bad comparison. Rain and Blood. Bad comparison. I get it. But I mean, it's a short album and all the songs are basically the same song. But why is it amazing? It's hard to be like,
yeah, I guess on paper, it doesn't make any sense. But when you hear it,
there's something about slight variations, even when you're trying to do one mode for a whole album. There is basically no variation on this album whatsoever. No. It's just the one thing. And even like go to a fucking 70s punk record then. Go to one of those. It's the same thing. Like they're doing the same thing the whole way through, but at least there's hooks there. There's something really, really grabbing you about it. Or something that about it that really grabs you. And this feels too, I don't know. It just doesn't for me. And clearly for you, even though it's your best and personal favorite, and it's the most mean, I feel like I'm so mean to this band when I didn't hate my time here.
Mike's the guy who likes this band.
I'm trying to be good cop here, but I'm also trying to be fucking honest. Oh, God, I didn't do this podcast. God damn it. Fuck.
Got some quotes?
Oh, yes, we do. So, Mark Ryan, guitarist, and I don't think he's the main vocalist. Honestly, I can't even tell because every record lists them
equally.
Exactly. But he ranks this as 4th. This is bottom of his list.
That makes sense. Just starting out.
Yeah, pretty much. He said, I think it was a transitional record. 3 of us were in a band before, the Mark band called the Reds. And so definitely the first 7-inch and the first record had aspects of that other band in it and some of the energy of that band. I made that claim without realizing he said that. So I guess I was on it. But on the other hand, we worked really hard on it. I have fond memories of working on that first record because we did have in mind what we wanted to do. And this is here where I wasn't so beating myself up as much. Where they asked me, did you all have the same reference points as far as influences went? And he says, we're all about the same age and we all have somewhat different things we like, but we're all influenced by and love early first wave punk, the Ramones, that era of punk. Shocker, shocker, shocker.
I am shocked.
We all definitely agree on that. What turned into pop punk after the Ramones that took over as the version of pop or punk. I've never really liked that very much. We kind of wanted to go back to what we thought the pop elements of punk that were fun were. So it was conscious, what we intended, and it developed from there. I would argue it didn't develop that much.
No. I've covered a lot of bands that I've called like cavemen, but it's more like because they're primal and stuck in their ways. Like, maybe like a Fear type band.
That one, yeah, that's like...
Or like DRI. They are very primal and caveman like.
I think I disagree with DRI because they transitioned to metal better than any band I've ever heard. From punk to metal.
Sure.
Better than, and they always sounded like themselves. They did move. Fear, that's like a weird one because they were like, and it's all Lee Ving's fault. It's all Lee Ving's fault where he's like clearly not a good songwriter. Got hit gold with the first record because there was a bunch of collaborating with amazing members and then fucking milked that cow for the rest of his life.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But this band, there's like, to me, there's like no evolution. There
is no evolution, which makes this next question very interesting to me. They asked him, what in your mind makes for a good Marked Men album? Which is, I would like to know that. I'm curious. He says, I don't know. End quote. I'm kidding. The quote goes on more. It says, when I was asked to do this interview, the thing I realized pretty soon after thinking about it is that the reason I might like different albums and songs and so forth was that I have a lot of memories of making them and hanging out with the guys. So it has more to do with that. So it's hard for me to rank them.
Yeah,
It makes a lot of sense to me.
They wrote the same song over and over again, and it was just who were you hanging out with?
Some of the songs I think are fantastic. Not on this album so much. I think this is like all a fine. It's all a good album. It's all one mode of fine.
I noticed something funny on the next album when
we gonna get to it. We gonna get to it for sure.
Mike has turned into Adam Sandler.
No,
Mark Man.
So fucking stupid. This kind of gives some insight to what they were like and how they became a name, at least in the circle they were in. They asked if it seemed like the record caught on quickly. Mark says, well, the first record took us a little while to find a label, so we ended up working with Ripoff, the label we worked with on the Reds. Close friends liked it, but early on when the Mark band started around Denton, people liked it, but it wasn't immediately getting a lot of attention. It was really after the second record came out, and we took a break for a little while, and we came back, and all of a sudden there was tons of people at the shows. We were like, what the hell just happened? It just seemed to happen organically. So
I like how he had the same reaction I did.
Yeah. His was a lot more positive, though. Much more positive. But Alex's best and personal favorite, but barely. So I guess we have to we truck forward.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am so sorry.
Starting off hot.
God damn it. But here we go, baby. This is the following year. Yeah, this is the follow-up. This is 2004's On the Outside.
It's from the same album.
Yeah. It sounds like it's from the same album.
It's slightly grimier.
The production's slightly grimier.
But it's still like their version of pop punk.
Yeah, it's not the pop punk that became, which I don't like at all. I like that riff though. I think it's a fun chorus. Something you haven't heard, but it's fun. Also, we didn't give any examples on the first off, but this is kind of more we sounds like most of the time. Not so much the Joe Ramone ripoff type thing. That's what I can. I respect the little young man. Nothing but the best. He's not like the record. Well, I think we kind of get the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, that chorus is pretty fucking fun. I'll give it that.
So, unless you have any accolades, I'm going to need you to turn that back up for me.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm going to play track 2, Don't Lose It.
Yeah.
And then immediately after, I'm going to play track 3, Gone Away. What we're looking for here is the lyrics.
Okay.
Okay. Very funny to me.
Okay.
Okay. Track 2.
Okay.
Fucking Just Win all over this album.
Wait, he said Just Win on both of those?
Opens both up.
With Just Win.
Just Win. Both fucking songs back to back. I'm not going crazy.
You're not going crazy. Or maybe you are, because best personal favorite.
Okay, whatever.
And not only that, Gone Away is my favorite song from them. I think it's a fucking awesome song.
It's because you just listened to it, so it's like repetition.
No, Alex, that is not the case. So this album, I heard this and I was immediately filled with what some might call hope and excitement. I was like, oh, because songs like, actually, I mean, both those songs, I love both those songs, actually. I think Don't Lose It and Gone Away are some of like...
Because they're the same.
They're not the same song. They have different feels, same exact lyrics. Sure. But I love the progressions in Don't Lose It. I was like, I was really taken because it's like, sure, it's the same vibe and the same feel, and it's, it's all samey, but comparing it to the first album directly, I thought there was a very interesting and original progressions. And then Gone Away comes on, and it's I want to say the first time they're starting to get a little bit more emotional. It's not just happy poppy.
I will say when they sing the lyrics for like Gone Away, those are like nice vocals.
It's great. I love it. I think it's a lot more deep than anything they've done yet. I think it's an easy favorite. Really strong riffs throughout. Still, I mean, again, the same exact feel, still punky, still fast and garagey, late 70s. Sure. But really good riffs. Other stuff on here that kind of won me over really quickly. So What? I think it's fucking awesome and catchy.
So what? So what? You boring little fuck.
All right, listen. This is not always Anti-Nowhere League. That's Anti-Nowhere League, right?
Something like
yeah. Metallica made it famous, of course, but Anti-Nowhere League. It's another. Are they late 70s or I think they're more in the 80s. I forget. But love So What. I think it's great. Also, So What by Ministry is a great song as well.
Oh yeah.
Still Waiting, I think is really strong. Legitimately beautiful moments with some really nice complimenting guitar lines.
I actually prefer the Sum 41 version.
That's fucking psychotic. I will never say a sentence like that in my life.
So am I still waiting.
If you say oi ever seriously in your life, kill yourself, please. Oi. There's no actions that say oi like that, right? It's just, other than a slight Philly kind of thing.
Yeah, or if you're
Baltimore, maybe perhaps
Tom DeLonge in San Diego for some reason.
I think he was an innovator in deciding to speak and sing like that. Innovating to something I think stinks completely, but innovating nonetheless.
So funny seeing him like 50 years old wearing like famous stars and straps, and he has to sing like that. It's like the funniest shit ever.
Not even fucking worse than looking at Travis fucking Barker covered face to toe with tats.
That man, I feel like he made the most money and got the most women out of this somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, he made it out all right. I mean, relatively. Whatever. I fucking hate that band. I've always hated Blink-182, but
Travis Barker, I don't like to admit it, but is actually a very talented drummer.
Of course he is. I mean, despite what we feel about mainstream music, you ain't doing it without being good at the thing, at the technical skill of doing it.
That man taught himself how to play left hand because he hurt his right hand. It's just...
Oh, yeah. I've heard of like a lot of musicians doing that with like various instruments. It's fucking insane.
Nuts.
Even I will even give big credit to fucking like Dave Mustaine, where I think he ruined his hand at some point and he had to relearn how to shred and stuff.
Oh, shit.
Like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's devastating. Holy crap. I think his head almost fell off from headbanging too, but that's another story. But what else do I actually like on here? Right Here With You, another one that has a lot of heart, a lot of emotion to it. And I always take note of those songs because it's not super unique to play something with heart and emotion, but when you had an entire album with only happy and poppy, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, bring it on. What else? Do you have anything of note?
I hope Dr. Dan is about Steely Dan.
I hope not. Fuck that band.
I'm
just gonna keep pissing people off.
Set You Right. There's this part where like the drummer is just like wailing on the snare drum. He's a very good drummer.
Yeah.
He's like wailing on the snare drum. I'm like, that's how I fucking feel right now. But yeah, I think my overall feelings was just, I was like, man, it's so crazy how I can be like, Dope Smoker is like one of the most amazing albums ever, and it's the same riff for 70 minutes.
It kind of is.
And then this, I'm like, please end. Please end.
I think that's your metal bias showing there, because I like this. I enjoy this. Even though it's definitely derivative and redundant, and I've heard it 1,000 times and by bands decades before that were better.
Would you say 4,000 times?
I would not. I would say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say 4,000 times, because that song does hit harder than everything else on the album.
Okay.
It's not too bad. I dig the backup vocals there as well. It's got a lot of passion. And the closer, Master Wicked, is their longest song maybe ever at 3.5 minutes.
I wish it was just Jonathan Davis and Chino doing Wicked by Ice Cube.
I have such a guilty pleasure love of that cover. I love, and this is why I can't be trusted, and you should all stop watching immediately, because I love the cover of Wicked by Korn.
I don't think either one of us can be trusted. No. And bless all of you Patreons and people who listen to us regularly. Dude,
it's such a stupid cover, and I enjoy it so much. Fuck. But Master Wicked, I I dig it as well. It's got a nice balancing of a little bit more emotion to it with plenty of poppy moments, which has a nice, well-rounded feel to it. And it's a good closer.
There's still some Ramones worship with no time is the most Ramonesy.
Yeah, it's the only thing that keeps me okay with it is just that it's so short. I mean, there's plenty of like minute-long songs in here. It's like, right, you're not disrupting anything. Sometimes it ventures into filler territory, but I'm not too bothered by it. But it's like with songs like Gone Away, Don't Lose It, and So What, there's something there. Like this guy's don't have range. Definitely not. But there's fucking something there. Like they're not like morons when it comes to writing progressions and hooks. Like there's something, I see something there and I was like, okay, I don't think there's any real bad, like my least favorite song on here is Cool Devices, but it's not like it's awful. It just feels more like filler. Mm-hmm. But it shows real potential. It's really consistent, but it's consistent in that I think it's all good, but it's inconsistent in that I think the great songs in here dwarf the rest. So it still feels a little bit unbalanced, I guess.
On balance, off balance.
Oh yeah, on balance, baby. But still my best personal favorite. I was let down in that I didn't end up liking anything more than this, but I still love a good chunk of this, and I think it's a fine album. Definitely has been done before, but it's fun regardless, especially if you're into late 70s punk. But what does old Mark Ryan think of this?
Number deuce.
He puts it as his second favorite album.
So you're closer.
A little bit closer. He says, at the time we were practicing a lot and we were just really busy with the band. We all had other jobs, of course, but the band is what we were really focused on. But at the same time, Jeff, the other vocalist and guitarist, took a leave of absence. He went to Japan for about a year or so to go to school. So right after we finished it, he left for a while and then he came back and started playing shows again. I guess people missed us because this is when we took a break and all of a sudden people knew who they were and were showing up to the shows. This album was mastered by Chris Hanzek, whose credits also include Green River. Check out that episode. Melvins. Check out all those episodes. Bell Witch and Screaming Trees. That is a band that has been crawling up my back for a while now. Like, are you going to listen? You going to fucking listen to us already? You going to fucking listen?
It's a cool visual too of a screaming tree crawling up your back.
Yeah, it's a great name of a band, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of one of the best band names I've ever fucking heard. I think it's really original. But yeah, I still think this is a cool album. Alex can't tell the difference, and many of you won't tell the difference, but some of you will enjoy it. I promise.
I mean, Mike thought maybe there was something there, and he has more in common with John Reese from Rocket from the Crypt and Drive Like Jehu.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
there is an overlap as well.
Yeah, he would put their next album out on his label.
That's right. Also, R.I.P. Rick Froberg.
Yes.
Which,
God damn it.
Not long, some months back.
We will do a Rocket from the Crypt episode 5 years after.
It was requested a long time ago. We will get to it.
I don't even know if that person still listens to the
Probably
podcast.
not.
I'm sorry.
Like some months back, Tom, our history guy, we were emailing and I think we were like throwing out like hypothetical fantasy lineup groups, super groups. And for one of them, the one that I sent him, Rick Froberg was actually who I wanted on vocals for my fantasy lineup.
Oh shit.
So when he died, I was like, oh no, I know it would never have happened anyway, but now it'll never happen.
Yeah. I haven't done a fantasy band in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe like a bonus filler episode.
Yeah. Keep that in mind, baby. We'll keep that in mind. But time to move on. So this is on Swami.
Or stay on the same treadmill. Up to you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Well, I would argue that this is the most different one of the bunch. So let's talk about it, baby. This is 2006's Fix My Brain.
Just give a little bit of time, 'cause you know that you can never live before you die.
Now this is just straight up garage rock. Very poppy, of course.
Also, yeah, little more poppy. They seem, if we're getting into the like nitty gritty, they seem to have settled into these like grimier vocals.
Well, there's a lot. This is the most sung vocals that the whole discography.
Or I guess it has like that effect on it.
Well,
where-
it's just a little dirty,
Yeah.
but this is the cleanest album they have, by far the cleanest. They go back to being much dirtier.
I do like this quiet part because there aren't.
It's the first.
There's
one you've
nothing
got-
like this anywhere.
This is the first and last time you get it, pretty much. Not the last time. But yeah, I was taken by that little part too because it's. I mean, this is actually. It's pretty. I feel good. I like it. Really accessible, really
Kind of warm.
Sorry. All right.
Warm. And even despite that, one of my lesser favorite albums. This has them toning down the speed a whole lot. This is not
Yeah.
even remotely close to being as fast as the previous two.
Like Sully My Name, Don't Mind If I Do. Yes, it's slow.
Yeah, that's the song that really reminded me of Iggy. Vocally
Yes.
reminded me of Iggy.
I think because they got the Christmas bells on there too. So.
Oh, what really ruined it for me is just that main riff. It's just a generic 2-chord thing that it's just the most forgettable. There's a few times they venture into like, oh, we're going to do 2-chord main riff and it's going to bore the fuck out of you. That one is one of my least favorite.
You don't say.
Yeah. I just find it to be a less interesting style of garage rock. And then you get, it's not a crime, but it's like,
It should be.
it's like, it's not terrible, but at 2006, why do we don't need it.
I have quips for all these songs, so prepare yourselves.
Yeah, all right, we'll just strap in. We're not gonna try to stop you, but it was after track 3 I was like, uh-oh. I feel like this is not going to go anywhere. And it wasn't just, oh, this album's not going to go anywhere. It was this band's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think I was right, at least in my opinion. So it's other songs, A Little Lesson, Wait Here, Wait For You. I don't mind those at all. I kind of like Wait Here, Wait For You. It's still regular garage rock, but it has some decent writing. I think the progressions are quite interesting. I really dig the main riff to Going Crazy.
Yes, that's how I feel listening to these albums.
Oh God! I'm trying. You're right. You see, folks. I'm trying to have a meaningful, deep discussion about music, and I got this fucking jokester right here next to me.
Yeah, not even good jokes.
Just throwing out these fucking 5s at me all day.
Yeah. You've said enough. Yeah, you have. You really have, guys. Time to pack it in.
It's funny you say that because I mean I opened my notes with more of the same with that song. It just bummed me out. I mean, it's not. I've heard so. This is definitely your cardinal sin thing of like I'm bored. So
yes,
this I find to be fine. It's just fine. I don't hate any of this, but
I do.
What can I say? By Diagnosty.
I do feel like maybe Sadist, like there's a good song in there somewhere, and I think Jason's a sadist for recommending this band to me.
I think he could have been a lot more cruel. These are very short albums, and I don't think that. But I do quite not like Sadists though.
Really?
Yeah.
There were times where I'm like, that sounds a little hooky. And then I was like, oh no, it's not going to get stuck in my head because it sounds like the other songs.
Well, that's another 2-chord verse.
Yeah,
2-chord main riff. That's like, what are we doing? If you're gonna, so I'm not just shitting on 2 chords. Some of the most deep, complex, and interesting songs ever written can be boiled down to a foundation of 2 notes.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm saying. But when it's just 2 chords and vocals, I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is. There's no like layers or anything else keeping it interesting.
I do have a few more night. I think someday there's some point where like the guitar tone does sound like angry and urgent, just for like a quick bit. And then it's just back to the same bullshit.
I like it. I like Someday. It's the fastest, punkiest thing on the album, or at least one of them. And
I do like the guitar solo on the title track.
So I dig Someday. I think it has really good riffs in the verse. The title track, even though I do like it, it was a letdown. Because like, I mean, the only thing about it that really turned it around for me is that solo section. Like, I mean, the guitar
Yeah.
work on that, it's very cool. I'll give it up for that.
I'm like grasping at. I'll take any like. I'll take 1 second of.
Yeah, just do something I'm not expecting. That's basically what we're craving. I think it's objectively good. It's not one of my favorites, but I think it's cool. And yeah, and then it closes with Stay Home, another high speed punker.
Which I will be doing if anyone invited me to see this band live.
He's on a roll, folks.
Yakety schmackety do.
Yeah. At first I was like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm exhausted. Second listen, I was like, if it's on, I'm not bothered by it. It's a fine song. It's a decent album, I think, but fuck, man. It's really only a couple of really solid songs that keep me going, as well as it being really short, because I don't like this direction of the style that they're going in. I don't think the writing is all that interesting. It's not even close to some of the moments in the last album. It just I knew this is not my band. I wasn't expecting you to hate him this much, but I knew you wouldn't like him.
Yeah, and apologies if someone from the band is.
There's
I'm
no way they're
fucking-
still listening after all this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, you've recorded albums and went on tour, and I'm in Mike's garage, so you won.
Exactly.
You won.
Absolutely. We're just people with voices, not whatever, man. I don't fucking care. I feel how I feel.
We already said earlier, no one should take us serious.
No one. But this one was mastered by Dave Gardner, who's done a lot of stuff. Unsane.
Wait, because it's been a while and I'm on a roll. Fuck Boston.
I was in Boston last week. It's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
It's actually a incredible city.
Did you talk to any townies?
No townies.
Why.
One thing I will say about Boston that I can see it putting off most people,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it to my core in a way that I can't really explain. The rudeness.
Oh yeah.
No
Yeah.
one. This is something that we have all over LA, especially.
Mhm.
No one. I mean, people at their job, people like that are, I'm going to an establishment. I went to a fucking museum or something.
Mhm.
No one there smiles politely just because. No one.
I do appreciate that level of East Coast honesty.
I love it.
Yeah.
I crave it. I'm so grateful for it. I don't want to smile at you.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that thing because I don't even want to fucking be out in public.
How do you like them apples? Mike loves them apples.
Delicious apples. Beautiful city. Go to Boston.
Also, fuck Boston.
Wait, why do you say fuck Boston?
Oh, this because. Wait, am I getting back?
Unsane? No, they're a AMRAP band, aren't they not? No, they're from New York.
Oh,
Never
okay.
mind. I thought they were from. They are AMRAP.
Yeah.
But they're from New York.
Sorry. I thought I was talking to someone. I went to buy Magic cards and a guy had a band and it said like Boston and I thought it was Unsane. Whatever. I'm just here to get my jabs in. So
Fair enough. Unsane is a cool band.
yes, from what I've heard, they're great though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy mastered Unsane. Cows. We love the Cows. We know you want us to cover the Cows. Believe me, I want to cover the Cows. Natural Pussy and less Sabi Fob. But this album is Mark Ryan's number 3.
Number 3.
So I was just glad it wasn't his number 1. They asked him what he remembers about making this album. He says that was a real hard record to record in a way. We changed the spot where we were recording. It was at our drummer Mike's house, and that was in Fort Worth. So we had to drive over there to record.
Yeah, was it hard writing the same song? Sorry.
He says this one surprised me. He says that's probably the record people like the most. It's probably the most accessible, I think, which I do agree it's the most accessible. And he says it was really fun recording it. John Reese, of course, from Rock from the Crypt, who runs Swami Records, put out the first version of that before Dirt Nine reissued it. He was real supportive of us and mailed us microphones to use while recording it. I just remember that one being really hard.
What a nice man.
Really, really nice guy. Also, I didn't realize that our boy Tom has such a connection to Rock from the Crypt. He says they were big in the UK for a moment when their 95 album Scream, Dracula Scream came out. He had a copy on cassette when he was 14.
And I didn't know that about Tom either.
Yeah.
And then shout out to my friend Chris, who he might as well be in Rocket from the Crypt for how often he's seen them, and he has like a Rocket tattoo.
Oh, really?
He does,
shit.
yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he loves those guys and all their like to the point where he thinks all like, and it's beautiful, like all their side projects he loves like equally as much.
That's I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Definitely have my bands.
Yeah.
Or it's like I'm buying every fucking thing you fart out. So this one, I mentioned that it sounds a lot cleaner than the rest. One, because I guess because of the John Reese connection, and it has a little bit more backing. But they said they were it was harder to record. This is interesting. He says we were incredibly meticulous, and it was just tedious and took a long time. And there was more disagreement among us about how to do things. I think in the end that was a good thing.
what were you disagreeing about?
My only guess is how much more garagey and slow do you want to be compared to garagey and fast? I don't know.
Hold on, guys. I think they should sound more like the Ramones. I don't know. I want more of that.
So this out. Have your fun, Alex. Have your laughs. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I fucking am.
I hope you feel real good about yourself, Alex, because
I actually don't. I feel really bad about myself.
because I hear this album is being the sore thumb album as way different than the rest. Relatively,
Okay.
sure, it's the same shit. But compared to the rest, it is very much the redheaded stepchild.
Okay. I regret everything.
Listen, we got our comeuppance. We've been humiliated. We understand what we're doing here. All right, we know. God damn it. So I guess time to move on. We got 2 more albums, 1 more
Jesus
official
Christ.
album. It's been a fun episode though. So this is the last official album they put out in their lifetime. This is 2009's Ghosts.
They're back being fast. Back to being much faster. Also glammy. And I really, really like this song in this role. Also, say what you will about the music, but those drums are as snappy as it gets.
I did say it was good drummer.
Good drums, man. That hi-hat is on point, man. He is not missing a fucking beat at all. That's a fucking cool riff. I dig that.
I dig that. I think this is both a good album and a bad album.
So a poor man's The Hives, and then we'll cover The Hives, and you can all call me hypocrite.
Oh, we will. We love being hypocrites on this podcast. So they've taken a very deliberate shift backwards. No more really poppy, slower garage rock. This is just basically a weaker version of the second album to me. It sounds. I mean, it's all even up to and including the production, where it's back to being dirtier and more distorted.
I found the most bullshit quote ever about this album.
With that,
So this is from punknews.org on their review. They say there's so much going on underneath the surface of these songs. And once all the intricacies hit your ears, it might cause you to wonder aloud if anyone who's not in the band notices them. Sure, anyone could listen to the Markmen, but to hear them is completely a different experience. Like,
I want to kick this guy in the balls. Holy shit! If he's got him, that's insane. I mean, no offense to the guy, even though I was saying something very offensive.
This is someone who's defending the band.
I'm defending the band, but go fuck yourself. I mean, no, feel that way. I'm happy he's happy.
Yeah.
He feels that way. But the pretension in the fucking quote is a lot. Oh, Jesus Christ. Get off your fucking high horse, bud.
I was so mad when I read that because I'm like, there are not any intricacies. I think even if you like the band, that's a fucking stretch.
There is so little intricacies, cool riffs. There were cool riffs, but I'm making my ears bleed trying to listen for intricacies, dude. I love it.
I'm happy you also feel that way.
It's so out the gate. This one is extremely inconsistent. It does the hopping, like I like it, I hate it, I like it, I hate it. Again, I don't hate any of this, but it's just compared to it, it's like, what the fuck? So the opener, All in Your Head, I think it's a very cool main riff. I'm sold by that main riff. All I need is a cool hooky main riff. I don't care if you do the same thing over and over again. Just play me a progression that feels good. And then Ditch comes on, and I'm already like, that right. Oh boy.
You could say their sound is stuck in a ditch.
I want the name, the song title to be so unassuming that you couldn't make a joke out of it, and then you still do.
They set me up so good. Like I held back because I wrote them for almost every song.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fortune follows. I'm like, okay, that's okay. It has some really great moments. Actually, I think it's honestly one of their best songs. It's on a definite highlight on the album.
There are some nice backing vocals.
Very nice backing vocal. And then My Love comes on, and it fucking, god damn it, I don't like that one either. It's just
what song?
My Love.
Oh.
It just kind of like alternates, just keeps going back. So I'm just trying to like latch onto the album, but I'm disliking every other song. I Must Be Dead, pretty decent. I dig that main riff because it carries a lot of weight.
If only I were so lucky. Again, a cool guitar solo.
I think it has some pretty strong moments throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Headset does nothing for me.
And then Locked Up might as well just be Headset. Like,
yes, but I prefer it.
Okay.
I think it has a pretty good chorus, very melodic. And then I'm okay with a lot of these songs. Not That Kid. It's like, I don't know. It's something that it just won me over. The outro I think is very cool. I think I like the outro more than any other part of the song. Stay Away is
great advice for this music.
Oh, that's the opening clip. I could take my pick, honestly.
They've given me a lot. I've given you a lot. Yeah.
It has it's definitely one of the more classic, and by classic I mean extremely 70s punk sounding.
It is, to be fair, it is slightly different from the other songs on this album.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. Get to You is like the first moment on the album where it kind of slows things down.
I was too lazy to look up the lyrics, but I was like, is he singing I've Been Dying to Erase You? Because boy, oh boy, same.
We like music here. But most of the time we're very, very gushy about the music we listen to. Sometimes, like this one, is not that. But Get to You, it slows things down, but it's also a little bit on the edgier side. It's different enough for me to be like, okay, it's not life changing, but I appreciate it. The title track, on the other hand, how much do you hate it or not hate it?
I will say title track is probably one of the stronger songs because I actually have a compliment for it.
What is it?
I like the opening guitar riff.
I don't like that song at all.
Oh shit! All right,
we just can't agree.
Oh, we can. Can I change my best? Because this album has my favorite song of theirs on it.
Which one's that?
Red Light Rumors.
I dig it. Not bad. Dig those verses.
I think that's the best song they've ever done.
It's a very charming song. I dig it.
I have nothing negative to say about that song.
Weirdly, I think the vocals are weirdly bad.
Okay, there you go. Even we try to come together.
So are you officially changing this the best?
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. Because I couldn't even say that about
the debut. Yeah.
So yeah, this has my favorite. So yeah, this
at least that.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Is this the first time I've changed talking about it?
You're working it out. Holy shit. Yeah, Red Light Rumors is pretty cool. One More Time Also has some pretty cool sections. I dig it.
How about 0 more times?
And we're back. Blew my head. Don't. We all know. We all hear it. We all see it.
Yeah, that one's too easy.
That one, again, it's another very, very, it's just 70s punk. It's not even faster. It's a little bit slower. The style of it's the same. The writing of it's the same. The speed of it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
But it still feels different from everything else on this album. So it's like, at least it feels good for a closer.
Yeah.
There's a final chunk. There's a section of the final chunk with this arpeggiated guitar line that I think is pretty fucking cool. Overall, not too bad. I
guess they're kind of doing different things, but not really.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's wildly inconsistent in the front half, but it's still decent. Like, I think if I'm not listening to all these albums in a row, this would be like, oh, this is a fine album by the Marchman. But hearing it all in a row, like not in the same day, but just hearing them, like the progression, they haven't evolved at all. So it's like, what do you do? I don't fucking care. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you show it to me as the first album I heard from them, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You show it to me as the fourth, I'm bored.
Yeah. I had to work out my feelings in real time.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. I think it is a good album though. I think it is a good album. I'm not coming back to it. It's not my favorite thing ever, but I think it's a good album.
I won't be coming back to anything.
Yeah. This album was mastered by Alan Douches. Don't say it. Don't say it.
No, Tom's fucking with me.
He's not, but he's got like, according to Tom, literally thousands of credits, including Converge,
Whoop. Whoop.
The Misfits. Check out that episode. It's before YouTube, so to find it on Apple. Hatebreed and Dilger Escape Plan. Very eclectic.
Yeah.
Interesting. And this album, as you would guess, is Mark Ryan's number one, his favorite Markman album.
Because it has Red Light Rumors on it.
Because it has Red Light Rumors on it.
He said, "Hey, Alex, what song do you like?"
They asked him, did you have any idea if this would be the last album? And he says, oh, yeah. I think that's why I chose that as my favorite, because it's sort of bittersweet. After Fix My Brain, we were particular about how we wanted this to come out and to be a little tougher and faster and more aggressive. And for me, my favorite songs by the band on the album, like Ditch and My Love, both two songs I fucking don't like. So just goes to show we're just not on the same level here. We're not eye to eye. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're agreeing to disagree. And then this, I don't like how he answered this question at all. They asked, if the four of you all had time and were in the same location and had ideas, would you ever want to do another album? Or do you think the catalog should exist as it does? And he says, right, that one. We're not going to do another album. Okay, bud. Hey, my bad.
That's the most respectful
way to ask the question.
Or like, yeah, thank you. Like, don't do another album.
Jesus. Yeah. But they're still around. They're still touring. They had a million fucking side projects. Even Tom notes here. He's like, geez, guys, pick a fucking band. Because I'm not even going to try reading it. It's hard to read.
Well, most notable is Riverboat Gamblers. I feel like back in the day when me and Mike Wiebe both had long hair and were younger men, we looked the same, but we don't look the same in 2023.
I see. But we have one more record to cover here, a compilation. And if you've been paying attention, you know already how we feel. So let's do it, baby. This came out 2018, compile stuff, I imagine, from earlier on. Maybe even the EP, I couldn't find much info about it. And I tried looking and I can't find it. I have no idea where these songs are from. Sorry.
Okay. Some on albums we just listened to.
Yes, a couple. Less than I was expecting, but still a couple. But here it is, 2018's On the Other Side.
I hate this song. I don't hate it. I kind of hate it.
Okay.
It's just completely average.
Is it because she won't know one song from another?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll give you that one. The song is called "She Won't Know." For anybody who doesn't get the joke he just made.
Yeah, I should have set that one up.
So it sounds like the Markmen.
It sounds like the Markmen, which also sounds like every other 70s punk band, and Worsley's favorite.
Worsley's favorite, because I'm fucking tired. I do think interesting thing here is there are a handful of songs where they decide to do like Buddy Holly ass music.
Oh, it's a little bit more rock and roll. Which song in particular?
Title track is the most Buddy Holly.
Oh, yeah, the other side. It stinks. Yeah.
And then like Robots is just like
Like Robots, yeah.
old timey rock and roll song.
Up to and including the Tom-centric drums.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I literally can't point to any part of that song that stuck with me other than just the drums.
I
Don't
think
like it
just
at all.
because they were this so like, not that they're amazing, but I'm like, oh, that's just different from everything else.
It's barely even different. So this is like, it's got, oh man, it's just, the best stuff here is just okay. And even then, like the songs that I noted as like liking more, it's like, I don't even really like them.
Would you say Nothing's Changed?
That's the follow-up track. Nothing's changed. And indeed, I mean, I would say something has changed in that these are spectacularly weaker than every other song, every other
There's
album.
probably a reason they were left off.
This, yeah, 100%. This is not just a cop out. Oh, it's a compilation. We'll give it worse. For me, this is legitimately a bad compilation, and I had a lot of trouble getting through it. I just don't care for anything on here. It's just so generic and it's so average.
I guess I kind of like the surf rock parts on.
The song On.
Yeah.
It has one mean riff tucked into the middle that I think is pretty cool, but it ends immediately. Like it's fucking 2 bars or something. It's like, Jesus, there was something there.
Yeah.
What else? I'm okay with Too Pretty to Fuck. It's like, it's faster, it's more fun. I don't love it, but I mean, it's just so I guess it's okay.
That
Myself
song
is a bit catchy, although I wouldn't call it one of their best, but it's not bad.
I mean, if they get tired of whipping themselves, I'll do it for them. Too Pretty to Fuck is like the most like, I'm like, that's like the most high school band song. Like that is like
The title has, but although DK did Too Drunk to Fuck, and that is a pretty cool song.
Look, you're boxing with God comparing
You can't, DK is a special band. Check
Yeah.
out that episode.
Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country. Lost It All, I don't think it's too bad either. I mean, it's, again, I can't point to why it's bad. It's just, I guess it didn't enrage me.
They probably could have kept it all if they stopped playing music. I do like the snare rolls on that song are fucking good.
On Lost It All.
Yeah.
The drums are still always, I mean, the drums are always good. The repeats, we have an early version of Wait Here, Wait For You, and That Kid. Is that all, or did I miss any? Those are the only ones that I caught.
Yeah. I don't know. It is really funny that I've been complaining about listening to the same song and then
You can't even note the ones that are actually the same song.
yeah, I literally have to listen to the same song.
Luckily, those 2 songs I already liked to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Although this version of That Kid is this version of That Kid is worse. I wouldn't say significantly worse. This version buries the drums and you can't hear the backup vocals. And the backup vocals actually do a lot for that song on the original or the whatever other version.
There's nothing worthwhile here.
There's a song called Nothing Worthwhile for those who didn't get the joke. I think Nothing Worthwhile, ironically, is the first thing here that immediately feels good.
Okay.
Because it has a hardcore punk energy with fairly decent riffs. I mean, nothing to call home about, but it just feels hardcore punk. It's not a hardcore punk song. They're not a hardcore punk band, but it feels hardcore punk to it. And that's enough to get me like a little bit excited. I think it feels good.
I thought it was really ballsy writing a song called I Can't Be Good. And that's like really snarky though. It's kind of punky.
Yeah, I found it to be pretty generic. I mean, oh god, I don't hate Disappear. I think the drums are pretty rad.
Hey, and I will on down that road. Okay,
I Disappear by Metallica for your listening pleasure.
I'm trying here, people.
The comp closes with "Go Cry,"
That's the best advice they've given me the entire discography.
and we will take
And
it.
I will. Thank you. And I will now.
So it's short, sweet, high speed. It's fine. It's a cool closer. It's I'm okay with it. But Jesus Christ, they really picked all their best songs for the albums. I mean, it's a compilation of like throwaway songs essentially.
You know what? You can't really say that about a lot of bands.
Yeah, which is that's a good thing.
That's the takeaway from
Takeaway. Oh boy, yeah. I mean, it just has the least interesting writing. It feels the least developed, the most copycatty, the most sameness, which is saying something.
I guess if I'm gonna say anything positive, I do kind of like this leaning a little bit into that old time rock and roll.
You like that?
I don't want it because I don't like the Cramps, but
hate the Cramps. Check out that episode if you also hate them.
but I think use sparingly. It could be a tool in other bands' arsenal.
It's definitely been used well in the late 70s by a lot of bands. That's where it came. I mean, we don't like the New York Dolls, but they did it in a way that people really like. But this is like, I just don't understand this because this is like really good if you're just discovering late 70s punk and you've never heard any of those bands. You've never found fucking the Undertones or the fucking Ramones or whatever the fuck. Like you have no idea, and this is the first thing you hear. Then yes, I get that completely. This is fun, and it's going to scratch exactly that itch. But we've had that. We've personally had that, especially me. And I've had a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I have no use for this. I see no reason to ever listen to this. It just doesn't do anything for me at all.
I feel like it just covered like a local band.
And so I can get how it would feel that way. They are better than that, and there's stuff that I definitely like and enjoy, and they're tighter. But there is I don't want to disagree too much, but there's one thing I will give it. There is always, at least in my experience growing up, there's always a little layer of like cheapness on a local band. And I could say that about my bands too, as well. But like, there's always like a little layer of like, just not great. And when you hear something cool, you're like being generous with that. There's stuff here that I think is genuinely very cool. Not on this album, not on this compilation, in this discography. So I will give them more than that, but I still think that I don't have much use for it. But anyway, this compilation, both of our worst and least favorites, it's just the least interesting song of their whole discography packed into one compilation. But that about does it. Thank you for watching and listening. And thank you. Oh my God. I am both grateful and very apologetic to Jason. Thank you. And I'm sorry. Let's do a recap.
Best personal favorite, Ghost, just because it has Red Light Rumors on it. Worst least favorite, On the Other Side. It is a compilation of their, I think the band would even agree, their worst songs.
I hope they would. For me, best personal favorite, On the Outside, because it is actually fucking cool. Not super consistent. I'm not going to lose my mind over it, but God damn it, some of the writing is pretty fucking cool. It has some moments, songs that I genuinely enjoy. Worst least favorite, On the Other Side, because of everything that we said and more. Oh boy. Thank you for listening. If you hate us, go ahead and let us know, because we get it. And I also don't fucking care what you think. It's okay. I've been to Boston now. I can say things like, I don't care.
Have
Yeah.
you seen my khakis?
I do have khakis. I do
You
wear
got
them.
khakis?
I do wear them from time to time. They go good with black.
I was talking about car keys.
Oh, khakis.
So
Man, we are fucking retarded.
I feel insane today. So
It's fitting. So yeah, leave some comments, talk some shit to us. If you like us and you've found us to be entertaining even a little bit, subscribe, like the video, hang out with us further. There's plenty of other bands that we talk about that we
check our backlog out.
check the backlog. It's insanely diverse. I promise you. You can follow me on all social media at Panda Monkey and Alex on Instagram at.
Every album, Alex.
And please be sure to check out our history guy, Tom Osman, at Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, as well as TomOsmanSounds.com for all his music. And yeah, I have an EP out. You can check that out if you want, but you probably won't want to. I mean, this is in the description. It's cool. Go ahead. It doesn't sound like this. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go home.
All their hatred for me is just going to be funneled to
Yeah, you suck. You suck. All right. I mean, I earned it. It's okay. But Patreon, baby. If you want to be just like Jason and request a band that you like that we're probably going to hurt and say horrible things about.
That Jason will probably unsubscribe to after hearing this episode.
Probably. Please take his place at patreon.com/everyalbumever. There we got bonus episodes. We're going to be doing a new batch of bonus episodes very soon. And you could also join our Discord, be part of our community, hang out with us. There's a lot of great people in there and chit-chatting about music and whatnot. On the Discord is also where we pick out albums to cover on our EAE singles episodes, brand new albums that came out this year. We cover them there, or we pick out the suggestions there. And you get to see our schedule in advance. You get to vote on polls to decide who we cover next. It's all very cool stuff. If you're tier 2, then you could suggest a full discography just like Jason did. It takes us a while to do these. So,
We're chipping away.
We're chipping away. There's a lot of it in the backlog. So we're doing what we can. We're trying to knock them out. And if you're tier 2, you can suggest any old album from any discography that you want us to cover on a Patreon bonus episode. So if the discography is too fucking massive, you know we're not going to cover it because we ain't covering fucking 20 plus album discographies. It's just psychotic.
Unless we personally.
We have.
Those are for us. Those aren't for you. Those are for us.
Melvin's has more than 20 albums. We love the Melvins, so we're covering that in multiple parts. But for requests, we need a lot more money. We're not getting paid very much money for this podcast.
So we'll either get some sort of revenue fat chance, or we love that band. So, but if there's a giant discography and there's an album from that discography you want to hear us talk about, throw it on the Patreon and we'll probably get around to doing a bonus episode on it. Go there, do that. Hell yes. Thank you. Now, wrapping it up. That's all you.
I got one song I want to hear only. Let's do Gone Away, baby.
All right.
Hell yeah. So where is it?
I can't wait to be gone.
Oh my God. You had to squeeze one last in there. One last one in there.
Quick little
jab there. Jesus Christ. So thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.
Just when I